We have very good relations with India. As far as India and China are concerned, I think they will eventually resolve into partnerships. We are a country that has very open diplomatic relations with all countries, I should note, except with Israel. I think the Maldives is ready now for a key change. Young people in this country are ready to take the country to another level of development and progress. So I believe the time is right now for us to launch this campaign. Now, I hope I give voice to the concerns and aspirations of a lot of young people in this country. Some have, over the years, become disenchanted with the political atmosphere in this country. Some have have had bad experience of political parties and political leaders. So I hope that I am able to give voice to these people that somehow have felt that they've been left behind in the move after the democratic process took over in this country. So I think the time is right now to make the dreams and aspirations of these people come to life. Yeah, thank you for the question. I see two different questions in that. Number one is diplomatic relations. Now, we are a country that has very open diplomatic relations with all countries, I should note, except with Israel. So we are a very internationalist country, and I believe the young people in this country are very global minded so that they are aware of what goes on around the world. They also feel part of the global citizens. So we hope that we can welcome more and more missions into this country, Australia and the US being key members of the diplomatic community. So we are very open to it. With regards to military tensions between two different sides, I think those things happen on and off. And that has happened over the past decades, ever since, even since before the Second World War. The region has been a key flashpoint or staging area for lots of global powers. So that will continue to be the case in the coming months and years as well. I don't think that is going to change, but I don't think that is going to lead to any flashpoints or things that may go down a different route to how it has been going over the past few years. So I don't see this as a permanent problem, or I don't see it as an overriding problem. I think we have to, as a country, to maneuver through these situations and find our way forward as an independent and prosperous country. So that is nothing new for us. So military relations, I think there are some relationships with different countries. I think we do have. We will maintain some relationships, but at all times we must respect the sovereignty and independence of ourselves as well as other countries. So I don't think that is a problem per se. Not at all, not at all, because I don't see our economic relationships with other countries being a problem. I think what happened with Sri Lanka is unique. You need to study the situation there. Maldives is a unique experience. Uh, it does not depend on what other foreign country we owe a debt to. It depends on the amounts and how big our economy is. So it's not related to our foreign partners per se. So we have to analyze what's going on. We have external debts, obviously some of those with China, but some of those also with India and other international partners. So the extent of debt is a concern. But our participation in the Belt and Road Initiative or our dealings with any one particular country is not of concern to, as regards as our economy. I think in one aspect we see locally that we have one maybe political party aligned more with one side and the other political party aligned more with the other side. So it can be seen as a proxy war in one sense. But I think we need to look beyond that. We need to look beyond that because these are major powers in the world, major regional powers, global powers. So they will have interactions, they will have discussions, disputes, dialogue, uh, not just in the Maldives, but across the region and across the world in other related areas as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, that is an ongoing situation. I hope it will resolve peacefully over the coming years. We don't need to get involved in this. The Maldives is not a staging ground, is not a proxy battleground for anyone. So I think these international partners do respect that. So what needs to happen is for our politicians to understand this. Our politicians should move away from aligning too firmly with one side or the other. And we should give preeminent position to our sovereignty and independence. As far as India and China are concerned, I think they will eventually resolve into partnership. As far as the economy is concerned, I think my paradigm is more, rather than East-West or India-China, my paradigm is more the global North and the global South. I think what will happen over the coming years is that there will be a restructuring of the international political economy, the global economy as well, where maybe post-war institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank, uh, their their importance will decrease because as the global South becomes more and more prosperous, these archaic institutions are unable to handle or respond to our problems. So I think an emerging global South will become more dominant. The post-war Eurocentric views will become less dominant, and I think the world will become a better place for it. And my proposal is that the Maldives should be primed to take best advantage of these coming changes. I think for any political party or any force locally to come out vehemently with such propaganda is not useful for the Maldives as well, and India will be rightly concerned. We have very good relations with India. We are very close with the Indian people. We are very close with Indian governments per se for over decades. So that relationship will exist. I think what has been done wrong as far as the Maldives is concerned is that our authorities, our government, has perhaps done things that are not very transparent. So we feel that a lot of the public feels that some agreements, some contracts have been signed that are detrimental to the Maldives, to the people, to our independence and sovereignty, and that these need to be revealed, the full extent, details need to be revealed to the public so that there is transparency in what has been going on diplomatically as well as strategically with our neighbors. So Maldivians are very proud people. We value our independence, we value our sovereignty, we value being able to make decisions for ourselves. So over the past 2 or 3 years, we've seen those values have not been fully appreciated by the current government, and that is where the problems arise. I think we need to really review what has gone on diplomatically between our neighbors and ourselves. We need to reveal to the public what has gone on. And I'm sure that if anything wrong has been done, it's been done by the Maldivian authorities, not by any external partners. So I think diplomatically we need to also focus on what we do politically, internally, just to get a political higher ground. We cannot badmouth or we cannot do things against any external country. The problems exist within ourselves, and we need to resolve those problems by discussions and dialogue within ourselves. I think bilateral agreements are very important, especially with our closest neighbors, our trading partners. So whatever agreements as far as socio-economic work, as far as education, health, tourism, all these areas are, we welcome uh, absolutely. But also these agreements we should have bilaterally and multilaterally with other countries as well. The problems arise when we have strategic or military agreements that are not revealed to the public. Now, the Constitution says very clearly that the public, if not the public, the Parliament should be informed of agreements. What has gone wrong is that these agreements, if there are any, have not been revealed to the Parliament as well. So this is a problem that needs to be resolved, and I think the people in this election will vote to resolve these issues because we are a democracy and no government that serves other purposes rather than the people will get re-elected. I believe in diplomacy. So the problem with, as I mentioned in your early questions, in answer to your earlier questions, is that we don't know the extent, we don't know the details of whatever contracts or agreements have been made. So it is highly likely that we will have to review these agreements. It is very likely that we will have to perhaps renegotiate some of the elements, some of the chapters of those agreements, if what we perceive, if what we hear are indeed correct. But these things can be done diplomatically. I'm sure India respects fully the sovereignty and independence of the Maldives, that we have a right to self-determination, that we need to have absolute control over our territorial waters, our borders. So I think there is no question about that. All countries, all our international partners respect these things. So there is no concern. I have no concern that these can be renegotiated, fully renegotiated, so that both the interests of India and of the Maldives are fully secured. I think we are in very, very bad shape. That is the truth, because we have suspended um, certain laws or certain sections of laws that hold us to not going over the limit with our external debt, especially our debt to GDP ratio. So these things are not good for us. We have been spending and spending, overspending for many, many years now, and our debt is increasing, and we will come to a point perhaps even as soon as 2 or 3 years from now where our debt is unsustainable. We will be at risk of default, and that is a terrible tragedy for the people of this country. But unfortunately, the political climate does not allow for open discussion of these things. There is this trend or belief that people demand favors, benefits from the government all the time. But I don't think that's an accurate representation of the Maldivian people now. The Maldivian people will believe when truth is told to them. They will accept that certain things have to be done to limit our expenses because our revenue is not growing. We need forward-thinking plans. We need to set targets so that we actually meaningfully expand and grow our economy so that we will be able to afford all these expenses that people are demanding. So I think it's up to the politicians to show the right way, that we should be, even while we campaign, very responsible in what the government is able to deliver. We need to be open about the economic situation, the fiscal situation in this country, and we need to, because we need to tell everyone the truth, because the Maldivian public is highly educated. They're aware of what goes on beyond our borders. They're aware of what fiscal policy is, what responsible expenditure is, what our revenue streams are. So we need to be told exactly what's happening. I think people will believe, and that is one of the reasons that I am running this year, is that people are open for this idea, for these messages, that responsible campaigning, that people being told the truth, and accountable leadership, transparent, inclusive leadership is what people demand right now. I think the reason people like our manifesto, the reason that we get positive comments is exactly because the pledges we have made are doable, are deliverable. Because we have spent months on developing this. We have had public consultations at several different levels. We have sought input from experts, and it's a huge team that delivered this manifesto. But we were able to guide it, and we were able to consolidate it through using experience from other countries. So it's a very doable handbook. I would say our manifesto is a handbook to unlock the potential of the Maldives and its people. So it's very doable. We don't promise the sky. We don't promise freebies. We don't promise benefits. And that's what most of the other candidates are doing. We encourage people to work. We encourage people to earn. We encourage people to improve themselves. But at the same time, the government is just there to hold your hand, just to show the way, just to enable and empower. So that's, I believe, is the role of government, not to hand out freebies. And I think that's what people in this country now believe, especially the younger people, the young adults in this country are ready to be empowered. They want to make decisions for themselves. And if we get the chance, my government will fully back any risks the younger people in this country are willing to take. We believe in young people in this country. We believe that our citizens are mature and responsible. We believe that they will be able to take the country to a better place than it is now.